Next, we want to go right into our program about what makes a good board members and talk about some of the personal experience. Bert, you want to go first? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Bert Baum. Happy to be here. This is a real kumbaya moment, really, if you think about it. We have FOV and ACC talking to one another, presenting a joint program, and we have Brad here too. And I think that's a really good thing, and the reason I think it's good is it shows a way to the future. And it's a lesson that maybe our national political leaders could follow. Imagine if we got Congress together to talk to one another. So what we have to do is respect one another's differences of opinion and try to find a common ground and work on projects that we think are of benefit to the future of this community. And certainly encouraging people to run for the board is very important. We need good board members. And we're, as Ed has pointed out, at a critical time in our community with all these changes, and we want to make it a success. And I'm supposed to talk about what makes, or what qualifications are important for a board member. Okay, so just to start, I got someone mentioned the Davis-Sterling Act, which governs all HOAs, and they've just come out with some qualifications that are necessary for people who run on the board of an HOA, and they're short. I'd like to read it to you. And the first one has to be faster than a speeding bullet. The second one is more powerful than an onrushing locomotive. The third one is able to reach tall buildings with a single bound. And the fourth one is the ability to explain Einstein's theory of relativity in one sentence. And I'm here to demonstrate that you don't need any of that. Well, let's talk about qualifications, okay? We have a set of bylaws in third. Of course, no one ever looks at them. And they have a laundry list of things that a director should be. And I'll just go over, well, I'll summarize them briefly. It says, first of all, you don't get paid. So I want to encourage you to run for the board where you can really work like crazy, but you won't get paid for it. You make no promises to vendors. You don't solicit gifts. You don't expect preferential treatment. And you don't use the association to make profits or get services. You don't misrepresent the facts. Let me translate that for you. You don't lie. You disclose conflicts of interest. You don't negotiate with contractors or suppliers. You maintain confidentiality of closed meetings. You don't interfere with the agent. You let him do his thing.
When's that one kicking in?
We're working on it. You use civil language, and you don't exhibit unlawful behavior. Okay. those experience. Other people, I think Ed has mentioned other things. You should have business experience, a financial or legal background. You should preferably be an engineer or very knowledgeable about construction, and probably have previous board experience. Everyone that has this in the room that has these qualifications, please raise your hand. Okay, let's sign them up. There you go. I think I saw at least 4 hands. Okay, I have my own list, and it doesn't have to do necessarily with your work experience. It has to do with who you are and what kind of person you are and what drives you and what's your character like. And I think that's important too. Let me talk about a few. Honesty, integrity, no hidden agenda, good analytical judgment. You don't have to be a mathematician to have good analytical judgment. Curiosity. You want to know what makes things tick. A willingness to learn. You can be creative outside the box. You know, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have a poet on our board. You should have a sense of humility. No one knows it all. A sense of flexibility, not dogmatic, my way or the highway. And that includes an ability to work with people and work with the other board members. And this is really important, and this, I think, is something our members in the legislature could learn, and that is the willingness to compromise. You're not going to get everything you want all the time you want it. You have to be able to give some to get some. And I think you want to work with the staff and form a partnership with them so you can work together. Okay, so why did I run for the board? I had been living in this community I started out as a snowbird in 1997. And in 2004, we got tired of going to and back from Minnesota, so we bought here, 2004. And I have to tell you, I just wanted to play tennis. I didn't know what was going on. I had a friend on one of the boards, and when it came to election time, I'd call him up and ask him who to vote for. And that was about my extent in politics. But it seemed to me after a while that things were getting a little wild here. And I got increasingly concerned. And then I met people who were more politically interested. I started to go to board meetings. I started to speak up. And I became very concerned about just what the direction of this community, where we were headed. And I got really upset about what I saw as all the friction, misunderstanding, and unnecessary hollering. And I thought about the people who live in my cul-de-sac. I thought about our neighbors. And the people who I don't agree with all the time, who have a broad range of experience, a broad range of opinion and outlook. Thank you for coming, sir. And I thought, I can get along with them. why can't the boards get along? Why can't everyone in this community get along? And I still ask that question. Why can't they get along?
Medication.
And I wanted to help people. And I felt being on the board could do that. I wanted to keep people informed, and I like that idea. And I wanted to listen and respect what everyone had to say. That means my fellow board members, it means the residents. And I wanted to work what was best for the mutual and be responsible and realize my fiduciary responsibility. That means we don't want to waste your money. Believe it or not, I don't know of any board member who says, let's waste the residents' money. Let's see what we can do today that's complete folly and unnecessary. That is not what drives us, and is not what drives the board. We may have a different idea of how to get there, but nobody wants to waste your money, okay? Everyone is concerned. I heard a very disturbing statistic that 7 to 8% of the people in this community, irrespective of what mutual they live in, are in serious financial straits. Okay, you figure that out, that's over 1,000 people living here. And we want to try to help them in any way we can. And that should be an issue for the whole community. And I think one of the real problems for a board member is how to balance the current needs with the long-range needs. Okay? We know we have dry rot, and that's important. We have an aging community. As you heard, we have plumbing problems. We have other problems related to our infrastructure. When this place was built, there were different building codes, much more lenient than what they are today. And we're paying that price, and I think we should realize that. But we're also a community that we want to keep vibrant, we want to keep alive, and we want to work on that too. And we have to think about the future. You know, the people who came here before us did, or we wouldn't have these clubhouses. Just think about it. And I'm sure every clubhouse was a battle. And speaking about the future, what are we going to do about Clubhouse 1? And maybe we should start thinking about that now, okay? And, you know, let's forget about the past and stop fighting those battles. Let's think about the future, but let's remember the past. Do we want to repeat the same experience that we had with Clubhouse 2 and have that with Clubhouse 1? Just think about it. That's something that we as board members need to do. And I think that the whole community should do it. Well, here I am. I've been on the board for a year. I'm a veteran. And I'm still able to do some things. I don't want to mislead you. I don't think we should mislead you. It is tough work. You have to devote a lot of time and a lot of energy, but it's very absorbing. You have to do a lot of thinking. You're exposed to a lot of new things and a lot of new ideas. It keeps you on your toes. So from that point of view, it's certainly worthwhile. You do get a chance to help people. I still have a chance to do some things outside of being a board member. Maybe not as much as I'd like. I still play tennis, but not as often. And I want to thank Brad for putting in new surfaces on the tennis court. And now I have one less excuse. When I miss the ball, I can't say it was a surface. So I can just say, well, I don't play enough. I I still enable a volunteer at San Joaquin. I try to go there most Thursday mornings. I still try to go to the fitness center, not as often as I used to in the past. My wife and I still usher at Soka, but not as often as we did in the past. So you can't have a life outside of being a board member. You do have to give up some things, but I think all in all it's worthwhile. And I want to thank you. I want to read, and now we're all in the same boat, you know, and we have to respect one another just for that. We're in the twilight, and we have to recognize that. And I want to get just a little poetic. This is a poem, I'm just going to read a couple of lines that we all read, either in grade school or in high school. But think about it. It's called Rabbi Ben Ezra. It's written by Robert Browning, and it begins, "Grow old along with me, the best is yet to be." And let's just think about that, because the best is yet to be. Thank you.